Ravioli.
Holy f***, this game is cool. I've known about vanillaware for a long time now. The studio is known for making games in this brilliant 2D style, and everything they come out with is just absolutely stunning. But I had completely forgotten about them until... Now you're probably wondering why Demon Slayer made me think of vanillaware. Just hear me out here. Demon Slayer is currently one of the biggest animes out there, so of course I needed to watch it. My friends and I started it together not too long ago, but thanks to COVID we haven't been able to finish the series. I've been itching to watch it, but I can't betray my homie's honor like that, so in my desperate longing for more stylish samurai demon-killing eye candy, from the recesses of my mind, a single fragmented memory came to light. Muramasa, the Demon Blade. I guess there was enough similarities between the two that a deep-seated memory of mine was unearthed from underneath all of the memes and other nonsense that occupies my brain. I mean, there's swords and demon in both of the titles, and the main female characters both have pink clothing, so there's that. And of course, both are absolutely gorgeous. Vanillaware is unparalleled when it comes to 2D art and animation in their games. Everything is so fluid and colorful, and I'm pretty sure I said the word gorgeous at least 100 times in the few streams I did of the game. Gorgeous, 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 gorgeous. The attention to detail is incredible as well. All the areas in the game have layers to make them feel complex and alive. Like in these areas, you can break apart the stage that's in the foreground, and it's a nice, subtle little touch. There's these flaming swords that have skulls appear within the flame animations as well, and just look at the food. It looks incredible. It's these little details that really show how great vanillaware is at crafting these game worlds. And their signature style seen throughout all of their games is always wonderful to look at. I'm honestly surprised that vanillaware isn't talked about more. So I think that is one of the biggest draws of Muramasa, or really any game by vanillaware. Exploring the world and finding new locales and monsters to gawk at is an absolute treat. Especially when you can encounter things like these. What is this? Oh my gosh.
Massive bazingas.
Initially, when I planned to make this video, I was just going to record off of my Wii, considering I own the physical copy of the game, but it really didn't do the game any justice. I mean, back in 2009, when a console that could only output 480p was somewhat acceptable, it looked great, but in this day and age, it needed a little bit of help. Luckily, I stumbled upon a fan-made HD texture upgrade for Dolphin, a GameCube and Wii emulator, and holy hell, it did the game absolute wonders. It also apparently used AI upscaling to create the new graphics, and that is just pretty darn cool. There is also a remaster of sorts that came out on the PS Vita, but let's be honest, who owns a PS Vita? Come on. So, graphics upscaled and GameCube controller in hand, I embarked on a journey into the world of Muramasa. So let's get right into the nitty-gritty and talk about the epic story. You get to play through two storylines, the story of Momohime and the story of Keisuke. I'll try and make this quick because there is a lot to unpack here, but basically Keisuke forgets some shit and then he kills some dudes and gets reincarnated so he can date this girl. And in Momohime's story, she gets possessed and then runs around and looks for a sword that the guy from the literal start of the story had the whole time. She also, fights God at one point, I think, and then she becomes a nun. So, yeah, the stories were fine, but I wasn't really interested, and that's honestly all I can really remember of them. I just kinda wanted to explore and fight cool demons and booby ladies. So really, with that said, and the fact that we can clearly see the visuals are great, there is only two categories left we can talk about: the music and the gameplay. And as it turns out, the music's pretty good. And the gameplay, whew, let me tell you, the gameplay is also pretty good. It might just be the fact that it's a 2D game and I can play it with a GameCube controller, but I think Keisuke or Momohime could make a dope Smash Bros. Character. The DLC characters usually have an interesting quirk to them, like how Terry automatically faces towards his opponent, or like Joker's kitchen gun! In Muramasa, your A button activates your basic attack combo. Pretty standard stuff, but everything else is actually executed by the control stick. For example, if you hold A and tap forward or backwards, you'll do a dash attack. Tap upwards and you'll do an uppercut, and midair tap down and you'll do a plunging strike. Also, if you crouch and hold A for a moment before releasing the A button, you can do this cool guard-breaking Beyblade attack. So there's a combination of mashing ferociously on the A button for your basic combos, but also holding it down and maneuvering yourself around as you fight with the control stick. Playing around with controls like this in Smash Bros could make a pretty unique character. I just think it would be a good mix-up to how characters currently feel to play. But anyways, that was just a thought. It's never going to happen despite how cool it could be. There's like 2 people I know that have even heard of Muramasa. So overall, the basic combat is very fun, and it feels really good and fluid. I think the only real problem I had is with the tap jump controls. For those of you who aren't well versed in Smash Bros lingo, tap jump is when you push up on your control stick and you jump up instead of pressing a dedicated button. It makes a lot of sense to have tap jump as part of the controls. Everything else is already using the control stick, so with this setup you can keep your thumb on the A button to prep attacks, only ever needing to move it to use an item with X or activate a special move with Y. But the main problem with tap jump for me is it makes platforming and fighting at the same time kind of annoying. After a jump, you can also glide a bit if you hold up, and it's just a little bit too floaty feeling for precise platforming, in my opinion. Among all the other maneuvers I was doing with the control stick, I found it a little bit tough to be accurate with where I was standing when there were smaller platforms. But really, that's the only real problem I had with the combat, and there isn't really a whole lot of areas in the game that you actually have to manage platforming and fighting. Now, these special moves I mentioned come paired with the game's namesake, the Demon Blades. As you journey along, you can level up and slowly unlock more and more Demon Blades through the forge. Each sword has a special ability tied to it that you can use to give yourself an upper hand in combat. You can equip 3 different swords at a time so you can experiment with combos you like, or just equip the 3 strongest swords you have and deal with it. Now, on top of all the controls and the not broken at all special moves, you can switch between these 3 swords in combat, and when they're all glowy like this, you'll do this big unsheathing attack that damages everything on screen. Each sword also has an individual health meter that goes down if you are blocking too much, which happens anytime you are crouching down, attack a projectile, or try and attack someone that is currently attacking you. It also goes down if you use your current sword's ability. If the meter goes down all the way, your sword breaks, knocking you back and forcing you to switch out to another one. They did a great job of balancing all of this together. All of the attacks have a good weighty feel to them, and there's only a couple special moves that are super broken. Overall, it's fast-paced and challenging and stays fresh with a plethora of different swords to experiment with, and you have varied combos between long and regular length swords. There's also over 100 swords in the game. I only unlocked maybe half of them in my main playthrough of the game. Aside from all that though, that is pretty much the gist of the game. You travel through different areas, fight enemies, grab lunch when you can, and fight bosses. Speaking of bosses, they provide a pretty solid challenge and are often extremely cool looking. They also throw in cool ideas like this giant above the clouds. When you attack his foot enough, you can use it as a platform to get up to his face and fight him. Or this boss that eats Momohime whole, and you have to fight your way out from the inside of its stomach. They're all just super well designed, and it's really exciting discovering each one. The bosses are easily the best part of Muramasa. So overall, Muramasa isn't a terribly complicated game, and that's one of the reasons I love it so much. Sometimes you just want to jump into a game and have a good time without having to learn any complicated leveling systems or metas. It's pretty to look at, fun to play, and it also has alternate endings you can discover after beating it for the first time, not to mention plenty of side bosses to try out, and of course, the rest of the swords to unlock. So there's lots to do after finishing the roughly 14-hour-long main campaign. The biggest flaw with Muramasa is Momohime has no canonical age, so calling her a waifu is just a risk you're going to have to be willing to take.
FBI, open up!
Well, see you in 5 to 10 years. Wait. Okay, we're good. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you want to help out my channel, you can like, comment, and subscribe, even share this video. If you want to follow me on any of my social media, all of the links are below. I'm also streaming over on Twitch now, so if you want to come hang out while I'm doing that, feel free. Chances are, if I'm streaming a game over there, I'm going to be making a video on it over here. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time.